I'm here to facilitate the meeting tonight. I am a council officer and I do work on planning policies, but for tonight I have no opinions whatsoever on these subjects, and I'm here to make sure that the evening runs smoothly, that everybody has the opportunity to speak and put forward their views, and also to keep to time, because there is a lot of questions that we want to cover this evening, as Councillor Davis has noted. If we are unable or we run out of time for any particular questions, or if there's something further you wish to add, or you feel that you haven't clarified what you wanted to say sufficiently, as Councillor Davis has noted, please feel free to put notes up on the post-its. They carry just as much weight as anything you want to say here tonight, and similarly please feel free to write into us, and we'll record those views as well. One of the things, the first question in the second section relating to views is talking about which views you consider to be important, and I probably for that question don't want us to run through all the views that we consider important, because a place like Westminster has so many, but certainly if there was something particular that you wanted to raise, or if you felt that there was a view that doesn't receive adequate protection at the moment, then you may want to look at the map at the back of the room which has the strategic views on it, and note those separately on a flip chart during the break time that we have. And I also note that we hope that everybody can hear tonight. We do have a roaming mic, so if there is trouble, please speak up if you're having difficulty hearing, and we'll make sure that you can hear all of the discussion going on. So thank you very much, and we'll kick off with the first question. And this relates to encouraging high-quality new design. And what we wanted to talk to you tonight is how can we develop our policies to encourage greater architectural creativity and raise the standard of new design even higher. I think part of that question is always going to have to be how can we include a policy that that's strong enough to prevent the merely acceptable, so that we really are looking at exemplary design. And I wondered if anyone wanted to kick off with a comment on that question.
I'm not an architect, but my name's Richard Perkins, I'm Westbourne Neighbourhood Association. But there seems to be an idea amongst architects that the architect designs and then the planner comes along and reduces substantially the quality of the design. I think we need to take some consideration of that point of view and decide how one can allow really creative design to go ahead, even if it appears to contradict or to be against in some particular way some preconceived planning conceptions.
And is that more in terms of the built form or in terms of the uses that might be in it?
Both.
Or both of it? So allow for exceptions where there's something quite exemplary?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, Britain is supposed to have very many leading world architects, but they don't seem to do very much work in London.
Did anyone want to add to that or put forward any different views on that?
Yes, if I could. Thank you. Verena Glasner, Thorney Island Society. Just in relation to that statement, certainly over the years, the plans I've looked at, it's not so much city council regulations that have got in the way of good designs, but the demands of the developers themselves, who have often in the past been looking really for architects to come up with quite impossible solutions as regards density or height or use of a particular site and its context.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Yes.
Sorry to make you drop your pen. The name is Tom Ball. I support the previous speaker. It is extremely difficult to deal with the demands which are set by the market that the developers have to meet, and they will tell you that. And there are many cases in point that have recently been approved by Westminster City Council Planning Department, by the members rather, where the actual development on the site is overdevelopment. And we have a situation very recently, for instance, in Chelsea Barracks site, where because the purchaser of the site paid so much money, the dictate to the architect was such that it would lead to massive overdevelopment. And we've seen the sequence of events regarding that. There's a lot of local community objections to that because of the overdevelopment. As for achieving good design, it requires everybody in the process to actually understand what design and quality of life is. And it isn't just the architect, it is the members of the planning committee who are going to approve the proposals or comment on the proposals. And there is a great requirement, and this is noted in the public press, for councillors dealing with planning applications to be adequately informed. And in the case of I'll say no more. That is a requirement because there are several sides to actually achieving quality of architecture and quality of design.
Thank you. You raise a quite interesting point there, I think, about design and quality of life. And do you ever see any conflict between the two in that, the architecture is often viewed quite separately from the functionality, perhaps, of what do you perceive that to be the case? Or?
Well, is this on? Of course, we can see lots of examples. We can see the development proposals which have been approved by the council for what I call, it's called the Victoria Transport Interchange. There's no transport interchange on the site that's been approved. So that was a misnomer. So everybody would think, oh yes, we need to have some improvements to transport. The actual amount of public space in that development and the quality of that public space is very, very poor and will be seen to be poor if that development goes ahead. It didn't, the council didn't take account of Cabe's views, nor even English heritage. So there's a weakness there. It is this overdevelopment. And we have another example if we take the proposals for Selborne House on Victoria Street, which in front of it has a nice little bit of greenery, a green space. The building is set back. But because it's set back, you can see the Albert Pub, which is part of our heritage in Westminster. The new proposals will actually be built right to the property boundary. And if you go out of City Hall and look towards the Albert Pub tonight, in the future, you will not see the pub. The quality of the environment has changed because of the desire of the developer to maximize on that site, maximize the floor space on that site. And again, it conflicts with one of the policies of the council because the height of the new building intrudes into the views from St James's Park.